Okay, we've wound now from the front of the hairline down to the nape of the neck. Now we're going to start to directionally wind on the sides of the hair. Okay, so far we've kept the rollers in an alignment of straight down the middle. As we move to the sides of the hair, they're going to be slightly staggered down as the head's round to allow the curlers to fit in neatly and evenly. And again, we're applying a smaller rod at the sides to allow for the problem on the crown area. Just one more. And as you can start to see on this second roller that's gone in, it is slightly angling at a sideways slope. If you can just see from this section that I've wound here, there's a problem with this curler. We've got some areas that are buckled here a little bit and some pieces of hair that have come out. If you leave those, you're going to have a problem. They're not going to perm properly, even though they will have perm lotion applied to them. Because they haven't been formed around the curler properly, it won't perm. You won't get an even curl. So if this happens, take the curler out and put it in again. Okay, and then you can see a difference from there. Then moving on to the last side, we're going to use the same principle again. These curlers in this section here will be at a slight angle coming down the head to allow for the roundness of the head. We have now wound this perm in a directional way. I first winding from the front of the hairline to the nape of the neck, and then moving from the side sections and then mirroring what we've done that side to this side. This section of the hair was slightly wider, so I've just allowed another curler in to make sure that an even curl runs throughout the hair. Now that we've put the perm curlers in, you allow approximately 45 minutes to wind a perm. We now need to focus on the actual perm lotion itself. We've decided that we're going to use an alkaline perm because it's stronger. Sue's hair has got some grey hair in there, so it's going to be a little bit more resistant. How the perm lotion actually works is it breaks down the polypeptide chains in the hair. The polypeptide chains are held up together by high disulfide bonds and salt bonds. Water breaks down salt bonds, but we need something a little bit more stronger to break down the other bonds. So perm lotion will do that. They'll break down the disulfide bonds in the hair. Now that we've applied the perm curlers in, we need to think about health and safety issues. We need to make sure that the client's protected and that we're protected. The perm lotion is a chemical, so to avoid any leakage on the skin, we're going to apply a barrier cream around the hairline. Okay, we need to make sure that this doesn't touch on the hair because it is a barrier. If you apply it on the hair, obviously it's going to put a barrier on the hair, so the perm lotion won't be able to get through and break down those disulfide bonds that are holding the polypeptide chains together. Okay, so make sure you get the client's ears as well. And making sure that you don't get any on the hair. Okay, on doing that, we're going to apply some slightly damp cotton wool around the hairline. To catch any leakage of the perm lotion. Okay. And as we are breaking down the structure of the hair and reforming it, when we apply the perm lotion to the hair, what we want to make sure is we're protecting the hair. These bands that are holding the curlers in sometimes can be quite tight. So to make sure that there isn't any damage to the hair, we apply these perm sticks which slide up underneath the rubber bands, lifting it off the hair. So when we apply the perm lotion and we're reforming the structure by breaking down the bonds, we've used the perm sticks to lift the bands up off their hair, and then we need to apply a cape around the client. This is all good practice for health and safety. If perm lotion touches the client's clothes, it will ruin it. So by making sure that the client's protected. You also need to protect yourselves because you're using chemicals, so make sure you use an apron and gloves when applying perm lotions. We also use a drip tray to catch any drips. Okay. When applying perm lotion, always make sure that each perm curler has been saturated thoroughly. You want to be careful not to drench it so it runs through onto the scalp, but using a nozzle or putting some lotion in a bowl and applying with a brush, you can evenly spread the perm lotion through. Also, depending on hair length, if the client has got very long hair wrapped around curlers, you'll probably need to apply a few more times. So this lotion will work on the polypeptide chains found in the cortex of the hair, which are like spirals, which looks like a spiral staircase. And they're held up by two sorts of bonds: salt bonds, which are easily dissolved by water by just shampooing your hair, and the other bonds, disulfide bonds, which are a bit stronger, that need a chemical to break them down. So at the moment, this section of the perm, we're actually breaking down the structure of the hair to make it to reform into a new position, and then by neutralizing the hair, we're going to fix it all back together so it stays in this position. From that, you place a cap round. You don't need to add any extra heat for this perm, as it's an alkaline perm. Always follow manufacturer's recommendations as to how long you allow the perm to develop.